What's going down, everybody? It's your boy, That Guy Mile High, tuning back in for another one of them bangers. You did what I'm saying. Another video, another reaction. 15 strangest things that have been found in sewers. Let's see what they've been finding in sewers, man. I've heard of alligators in Florida. You know, I think that's honestly the weirdest thing. I'm sure they've probably found snakes and all sorts of weird stuff like that. But I think the craziest thing was the alligator, as far as I'm concerned. But let's see, you know, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably talk about some weird stuff all around the world. And yeah. I'm gonna strap my boots on, so you should strap your boots on too. Record the screen, hit that full screen, and let's do this, man. 15 strangest things found in sewers. Let go.
Sewers are seen as horrifying places for many reasons, whether it be the nightmares of human imagination or just the thought of being around a ton of other human sewage. There's much to be feared. We should all be thankful to the workers who go down.
I'm gonna go ahead and do exactly what he's about to do. Shout out to all the sewer workers, all them underground tunnel workers and all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You deserve to make the money you make. You probably don't make enough still, even with that being said. But yeah, you doing a job that I definitely ain't doing.
Every single day,
so shout out to you.
Preventative and emergency maintenance on our behalf. They've observed many things down there, with some even making it to the internet for the rest of the world to observe.
We did hear some cries for help. We then upgraded to a full confined space heavy rescue response.
From the amazing people who work down in the muck every single day, to the demons they managed to capture on film, here are 15 of the strangest things found in sewers.
I'm good, bro.
Number 15. Anime manholes. Some places around the world, like Japan, seek to liven up their cities by focusing on what counts, the details, the nitty-gritty of the streets where people go to and from every single day and experience the city on the
deepest level. They turn manholes into like picturesque situations. You sit there and go and like, you know, get a selfie with all the different manhole anime characters. Like, what the hell?
To their
I mean, that's kind of clever though.
Decorated with some amazing, unique anime artwork. There's much to look at while commuting through downtown Tokyo, and now that includes looking down at your feet, which obviously poses its own kinds of risk because you aren't looking where you should be. Either way, you have to check out these amazing art pieces for yourself. To make them even more amazing, they recently implemented a light system so they can be seen even better at night.
Well, that's
now
cool.
There's no missing them. Many of the art pieces are dedicated to Japanese fan favorites like Mobile Suit Gundam and Record
Japan be doing some
War.
crazy shit.
They certainly knew who their audience was in the city when they quick whipped up these designs and got them installed. Now, let's get ready for today's open discussion.
Yeah,
all kinds of things can be found in sewers.
Look at that
Here's
big
an
ass
example
snake.
of a giant freaking snake being pulled from some California suburb.
Python.
Yeah, this could happen in a neighborhood near you. Sorry, Florida, you're probably the worst offender. Believe it or not, people are going hunting for snakes and fishing in sewers nowadays. Which part is worse? Whether there are people who fish and hunt for snakes in sewers, or the fact that there are actually things to be found? That falls to you to decide. Drop a line in the comments with the hashtag open discussion to jump in the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could ever live in Florida. They got something in the water down there in Florida. Florida got something in the water.
For the rest of your life. So what are you waiting for? Time to fly. Number 14. Sewer divers. Speaking of those people hunting for things in the sewers,
that's a
sewer
job?
divers are one such group of people who are looking for all manner of treasures. In fact, there's an entire company dedicated to the behavior of Melbourne, Australia called East West Dive and Salvage. They do exactly as mentioned before.
That is
dive in the poop dirty water looking for treasures and valuables either lost, forgotten, or discovered. Let us know if you ever turn up something like the Ninja Turtles. According to the company, they're doing it because
would you go diving in shit? I'm gonna just be real. You know, the trash is one thing, dirty water is one, but would you go diving in shit? I'm not doing that.
They don't process sewage with chemicals. People incubate bacteria by occasionally going down there and literally stirring the muck 24 hours a day. That isn't to say people are stirring it for that long, but the machinery for which they need to fix all the time is, and it's constantly breaking down. The process is very hard on all that machinery. They constantly need fixing, and the city of Melbourne is a big place with a big sewer to maintain. All their air is bottled, thank goodness, because it can be literally toxic at times. Number 13.
Disgusting.
Blob monster. The complex tunnels that run beneath the ground we call sewers are often full of mystery and terror, simply for the fact there's little known about them. Stories from Stephen King's It to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shed an illusionary light on what could reside in those depths, but what if it's actually true? Well, unless you're down there working them, it'll probably remain a mystery forever. So count your blessings on that note. Do you think it's possible that unknown creatures wander the unexplored tunnels and use them to get around human cities undetected?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it can seem that way, even to the workers that traverse these conditions every day.
That looks gross.
The haunting video of this
Like
super
some
blob
shit
monster
came
hit
alive.
4 million views in a few
period
days.
blood
And it's
clot
easy
just
to
came
understand
alive.
why when you first gaze upon it. You can't argue the thing looks alien. That movement can hardly be described as anything other than living motion. It's reminiscent of a heart beating,
That's
and it
gross.
is indeed living. The video ignited a complete exploration of the mysterious creature from multiple sources, and someone finally figured out what it was. The real terror of it all is that the monster is spreading and stretching onto the walls, much like something you might see out of the Stranger Things TV series.
Ew.
What can these hideous growths possibly be? The blob has become so bad it's even started to emerge in people's homes. The mysterious monster is really a collection of disgusting worms called tubifex worms or sludge worms for obvious reasons. Number 12.
That's gross.
Koi in the drain.
That's
in most
disgusting.
cities, drainage canals are the last place you'd expect wildlife to thrive. However, in the city of Shimabara, on Japan's Kyushu Island, the street's drains are so clean they're home to hundreds of koi carp that dazzle the residents with their majestic presence. The unusual fish habitat is a result of the volcanic activities of Mount Unzen in the 1792 earthquake and
That's
sequential
kind of cool, though.
tsunami.
That's super
The
lit.
natural tragedy killed
I mean,
sadly
not that part.
15,000 people.
With the fish.
It also
The fish
triggered an
that'd be
abundance
cool to
of
see
freshwater
walking down the
springs
street.
in many areas, including the city of Sumabara. Clean water started flowing through the city's drainage channels. In 1978, officials determined they would release colorful koi in the 100-meter-long waterway. And so they did. The result is citywide natural preserve that's unique in the world. Koi fish rely on extremely high-quality water for survival, so it's a testament to how clean this water is. And today, the city goes by the nickname of City of Swimming Carp and has become a popular
cool.
destination for both
That would be like
tourists
super
and
cool to see.
locals.
You know,
Number 11.
the destruction that caused it
Living
is
in a
not
drain.
cool, but
Whenever a person escapes from a life of drug addiction, it's always a win. After all, when a person breaks through the fog to view life as it's worth being sober for, you soon realize what's truly important. To give testament to this notion, this couple has defied all odds and escaped with the help of love. From this Colombian-born couple, living in a sewer for 22 years with their dog saved their lives, it's hard to imagine that some folks' high point in life is living in a sewer, while others, it's a nightmare. Makes you think. Madeline is the second largest city in
What?
Colombia,
I mean,
with a massive
I don't even got
population
nothing
of
to say.
around
I
3
guess if
million
that's
people.
where you found
Before
yourself
getting all
at
queasy
and
about
comfortable
living in a
and
sewer,
alright.
just look at what they've done with the place. It truly is their home and should be called as much. The life they managed to escape is far worse than this life together with one another. Some would even go as far to call it cozy. Though the couple's home tale is impressive, how these two met and overcame their problems together is the true story.
That's
Number
crazy.
10.
I
Exploding
was like
sewer.
low key all like romantic
Sewers
and
are
whatnot. I'm not living in a
fascinating
sewer
modern
though.
marvels of human cities for sure, but they can quickly turn to disaster if not properly maintained.
Oh.
Events like this exploding sewer have been seen around the globe. It isn't just on the workers trying to maintain everything down their shoulders, but all people of the city. Whatever you flush, drain, or dump into the sewer all goes into the system for which it's supposed to be filtered. Some items should never go down there, like fat, grease, and other chemicals and congealing materials. They cause massive clogs that sometimes lead to crazy events like this one, with the sewer backing up so much it looks like a backwards waterfall spewing onto the street.
Dang,
In this
that'd
instance,
be
the sewer
crazy.
was on a busy highway with semi-trucks and commercial vehicles speeding past. Any number of disasters could have occurred with this dangerous situation. It isn't always people that can cause such flooding either. Sometimes Mother Nature is to blame, which is exactly the reason for this in the footage. Storm drain explosions like this are rarer, as the drains are meant to accommodate the heavy rains and storms. When the storm systems start failing, you know that spells trouble for the rest of the city. Number
Yeah, that's
9.
wild. That'd be crazy to see
Chinese
though.
sewer oil. The typical Chinese
What?
diet uses tons upon tons of cooking oil every day. Some of that oil comes from the waste stream. Strolling along an alley lined with restaurants might swathe you in the fetid stench of sewage and rotting food. But nothing is more stomach-turning than seeing a restaurant owner skimming wasted oil from the drain to be reused in the day's dinner. A professor of food science engineering at Wuhan Polytechnic University sparked the flames for an investigation when he released a report of disturbing info about a black market oil ring using dangerously unsanitary oil
That
for its
is
cooking
disgusting.
purposes. The study revealed that 10% of meals cooked across China use oil that's been reprocessed from discarded kitchen waste. This is horrendous news.
That
This
is
oil-
nasty, bro. Like, ugh. I don't got nothing to say because I would just be real disrespectful. But that was disgusting, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether that was right or wrong. There's no. That is disgusting. Oh man, the greed of some people. Like I'm just telling you, the greed of people, bro, is just amazing.
Called
Wow.
swill oil, often contains high levels of aflatoxin, a toxic fungus and notoriously potent carcinogen. Researchers could dispose of their excess oil in a sanitary way using government-provided services, but many refuse to discard in this way for some odd reason.
That
Number
is
8.
disgusting.
Man saved from storm drain. This one is hard to make sense of and hard to believe. Apparently, a man fell through a manhole cover into a storm drain and was injured so bad he couldn't make his way back out of it. When he woke, he had no idea where he was and he just started walking. He said he had walked about 6 miles in 3 days until he was eventually rescued. 6 miles in 3 days is actually pretty little.
Yeah,
but
it is.
who knows the exact mental state he was in the entire time. Police took his word that he fell through a broken manhole cover, but upon investigation found no such broken manhole or repair notice from the city about as much. Either he was lying or the hole he fell through magically fixed itself. When he finally resurfaced, he certainly appeared disheveled and vacant behind the eyes. The first question out of his mouth was whether or not anyone had a cigarette, so he quickly came back to once he got some proper oxygen. Who knows what types of toxic gases he was inhaling down there and for how long. This seems like something you might find in a film, but is it a genuine one or a hoax? Number 7.
Oh no.
Tokyo's
Seemed like
heavy
he
sewer.
put himself in a
It
weird
comes as no
predicament
surprise that an
and
amazing
didn't want to
sewer
be
like
there
this
no more.
exists in Japan,
Couldn't figure out
one
how
of
to
the
get back out.
most technologically advanced countries on the planet. These sewers are truly an impressive construction and worthy of living in. Heck, if the Ninja Turtles actually existed in sewers, this would be like the mansion version. Tokyo frequently gets nailed with heavy storms. Being an island, you're heavily subjected to weather, including typhoons, tsunamis, and more. To accommodate these huge storms, Tokyo needed an equally massive sewer system, and they sure as heck got one. The aptly named Tokyo G-Cans Project, or more commonly referred to as the Metropolitan Area
That's
Outer
cool, though.
Underground Discharge Channel, is made up of 5 gargantuan silos, all of them connected by a nearly 4-mile-long tunnel that spills out into a huge underground storage tank. These things are prepared for the worst of storms. Each of the silos was constructed near a separate river, so when that river overflows into storms, it's absorbed into the silos in what would otherwise flood the surrounding area to disastrous degree. These silos
That's
are
smart.
vital
That's
to the
super cool.
survival of Tokyo. From the silos, the water flows into the tunnel and downhill to the storage tank, where it can be kept until the water levels in the rivers start to go down.
Oh, and then they just push
Number
that back out
6.
into the rivers. See, that's
Chandelier
super
in
smart.
a
That's a
sewer.
way to like.
Could the
That's
Ninja Turtles have
ingenuity
actually
right there,
lived here?
baby.
There's
That's
a random
ingenuity.
luxurious chandelier hanging in the middle of a deep sewer. This original sewer system can be found in the city of Cologne, Germany, and it goes way back in history, telling of many different tales and where many were buried. It was constructed during the Roman era in the 1st century CE
That's
and
like
remained
creepy as
almost
shit with
unchanged for
content,
1800
bruh.
years. Impressive, right? Especially when humans are concerned, they typically put their hands all over everything. But as the 19th century continued, the population of the city exploded, and the old reliable sewers were overwhelmed by the influx of volume. After some horrendous aromatic years, the sewers of the city finally underwent renovation. In 1890, the new and improved system of waste disposal was online, and it changed the lives of everyone in town. It was so impressive at the time that Kaiser Wilhelm II was scheduled to attend the grand
Like,
opening.
would you like? Would you
The
go
scissor
and like
cuttings-
do like a little walk-in, walk-through tour of a sewer line? Like just, come see the marvels of the sewer and how we get rid of your shit. Like, I don't care. Like, it's cool
Only
to
in
like
all.
watch a video about it, but I'm
In
not
honor of
going to do
presenting
like an
this
actual
subterranean
tour of it.
splendor to the Emperor of Germany, the city had 2 elaborate chandeliers installed, demonstrating the grandeur of Germany from top to bottom.
Oh, okay.
Number 5.
Oh, okay.
There are many
I didn't even
questions
check that, but
pertaining
that
to
is
the
true.
mysteries of
Chandeliers.
space. But one of the most frequently asked is, how the heck do astronauts use the toilets up there? The answer is simpler than you might think. A space toilet, as it's called, is a toilet designed for a zero-gravity environment, as in space. The most basic human biological process has become a challenge in space because there's such little gravity to help pull everything down. Instead of gravity, a new force had to be introduced to direct the flow and collection of liquid and solid waste. Airflow was the answer. Before there were
So they, like,
commodes,
suck the
astronauts
shit
would have
out
to
of you?
wear a urine collection and transfer it to a special device when full. Number 4.
They like suck the shit
Groaning
out
sewer
of you.
grate. What in the world could be causing such a bizarre sound in the sewers? It really could be anything. From wailing specter to metal creaking road grate, there could be a million reasons for this strange sound. Still,
does kinda
you can't
sound like
ignore
a
the
whale.
creepiest of all. It could also be a septic alarm triggering spelling impending doom if not fixed post-haste. While there isn't any more context to this footage, there's clearly something going on here that shouldn't be going on. While it could be a grate being driven over further down the tunnels, the consistency of the noise suggests something more intentional. That leaves ghastly sewer spirits or impending doom alarm, both of which wouldn't spell good news for whatever city this is in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Number 3, the Fatberg. Those aforementioned fat congregations we spoke of earlier
That looks
shouldn't happen
disgusting
are some
in
of the
that.
worst kind of sewer issues. This video shows just how big they can get, and it's a testament to the seriousness of the matter. Giant blobs of fat have always been a problem in cities, especially in larger cities like London and New York. It falls down to the people in restaurants to take better care of their systems. You don't want to underappreciate a working sewer system. The problem, unfortunately, is getting worse. Take a gander at the bus-sized fatberg shoved here that recently clogged the entire system beneath Kingston. If the workers had arrived any later on the scene or waited any longer to clear the jam, raw sewage would have soon started backing up to flood the streets of Kingston above.
That's
That would have been
crazy.
bad. Very
Well,
bad.
that tells you, stop
No
putting
one
your
wants
fat
poop
and your
flowing through the
oils and
streets.
stuff down the
It took
drain and
sewage
shit,
workers
people.
nearly 2 weeks to break
Dispose
up
of
the
it
single
correctly.
fatberg clog, and another 4 weeks to repair the massive damage that had occurred in the meantime. See the seriousness of not dumping fat and grease down the drain? The aptly dubbed fatbergs are notoriously bad in London because of the massive food industry located there, the largest spot in the entire country. Experts estimate that at least 50 million liters of cooking oil are used annually, with much of
That's a
it
lot of
going down the
goddamn
sewer pipes illegally.
Cooking oil.
London food businesses are reacting, attempting to use the oils in other ways. For instance, McDonald's collects a massive 600,000 liters of cooking oil a year from its stores, then hauls it far away to be converted into biodiesel fuel.
Right,
You need to
that's
think
smart.
outside the box rather than just dumping stuff.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Number
That
2.
looked gross.
Sewer demon. The sewers are a pretty scary place no matter where you go. Some more than others, sure, but nonetheless, they're terrifying. Some of the scariest sewers in the world are some of the oldest, which reside below
Bruh, I
some
would
of
have
the
been
most
out.
historic
I wouldn't be in the
cities
sewer
world.
anyway, but I would have been
The
gone
United
as soon as I would have
Utilities
seen some
Company
little weird
posted
peak,
this photo of
eyes
a
peeking
nightmarish
and
creature spotted
glaring
in the
back at me.
sewers
I'm
while
out.
The crew was performing
Gone.
maintenance duties. The photo was captioned with warnings of why not to flush creatures down the toilet. It turned out to be an elaborate and hilarious April Fool's joke by the company, who really was trying to warn the public of the hazards of flushing creatures down the toilet. They won't turn
Oh, yeah.
into huge, sewer-lurking demons, of course, but they can definitely cause major problems within the sewer system itself. From clogs to legitimate overgrown fish clogging the pipes, nothing would surprise sewer maintenance crews in these days. Not just creatures either. The company went on to disclose
That's
that the real
crazy.
demons of the sewers are baby wipes, cotton buds, and paper towels, which clog pipes and cause major flooding. It's a big issue, as the resulting flooding can cause real distress for households and pollute local water courses. They're developing technology to better track who's at fault for clogging public sewer systems and causing significant damage.
They trying to
Do what you're
track
supposed
y'all
to do.
now? Oh, y'all better really stop baby wipes and them wet wipes and all that shit. Stop throwing it down the toilet and flushing that shit, bro. They trying to track y'all. They trying to find you for everyone, bro.
But you're supposed to flush.
That's
Check
crazy.
your city's guidelines if you're unsure. Number 1, fat rat. Rats are a common rodent that populate human sewers. They often scurry away before causing any issues with humans. When they're good at running and hiding, this one seems to have gotten too big for its own britches. He can't even fit through the manhole cover that he probably used for years. This fat little guy sure is struggling to get the heck out or in, whichever. Mexico City cleanup crews' lives may be people's worst nightmare every single time. They discovered these little fat monsters while working the sewers just in time for Halloween. How many other monster
That's
rats like
crazy.
this are living in the sewers below? It
He
would
is
soon be an
straight too
investigation.
fat to
A
get his
fire
ass
brigade
through.
unit was
That's
dispatched
nuts.
to lift the lid to push it from the other end because it wouldn't be pulled. They later said it must have had a healthy winter to emerge in the spring looking like that. This brings meaning to the idiom of fat rat.
That's crazy.
Just
That
what
looks
in the heck
like
was the
them New
rat
York
feeding on
big
during
old
the harshest times
crazy
of a
rats.
rat's life?
They be
We may
posting.
never know.
That's
Let's just hope it
nuts.
wasn't some radioactive material. Then again, Master Splinter might be walking through those sewers as we speak. Sewers are scary places for many reasons. They've been subject to horror stories, legends, and any manner of fear you can think of.
Oh, you just drop his ass back
Creatures
in
or
there?
just human waste. There's
What is
nothing
that?
good down there in the sewers.
He was trying to get
At
out.
least that's what
You
our
put him
minds
back
tell
in.
us.
Now you're gonna be back
reality,
stuck
they're
again.
vital systems part of a healthy city. Y'all have a responsibility to keep our sewer systems clear of clogs and in working order.
That's crazy.
So before you flush that baby wipe, be sure to reconsider and throw it in the trash.
Big facts. Anyways, yeah, that was nuts, man. Yeah, that was nasty. From people living in sewers to big snakes and shit, and you know what I'm saying? People going treasure hunting. I don't. Some of y'all is just off your rockers, bro. I don't know. Y'all, some of y'all need some therapy. Some of y'all need some therapy. Anyways, man, y'all let me know what y'all thought about the other comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.